Hello, this is Jedd Hafer at the Love and Logic Institute here with Dr. Charles Fay.
Hi there. Hi, Jed.
How
Good
you
to
doing,
see
man?
ya, man.
Hey, we have a question. This is a serious question.
Okay.
Am I a bad parent if ... Here,
Well, I'd have to know what the ... dots are.
Okay, yeah,
I mean,
it
that
doesn't
would
make any sense
make
yet.
sense, right?
And it's still not going to, but
Like-
we're gonna explain it further.
Yeah, okay.
It feels like there's a lot of pressure. Like if I don't do this, and if I'm not doing this and this, then I'm a bad parent. And I wanted to ask you about some of those
Okay.
because, in particular,
Well, don't use me as the expert because
I thought you were a parenting expert.
I was until I had kids.
Oh, okay.
But
That'll do it. That'll take
I
care
can
of
give
it.
you my opinion.
Okay.
Well, let's put this under opinion rather than like
Expert. We won't even call it expert opinion.
opinion rather than journalism.
Okay.
Okay,
This is
it's just opinion
There's
and commentary.
no basis for anything here.
No
But
basis in fact.
let's suppose that my kids go to school, which they do.
Okay.
And let's suppose they have this thing called Infinite Campus, which is, it could be called
Whoa.
an Infinite Helicopter.
Yeah, it's helicopter helper. Like,
Helicopter helper.
Yeah, it's like the stuff you used to put in hamburgers and make them go further. It's helicopter
Yeah,
helper.
just-
Yeah.
Let's suppose I don't religiously check my kids' assignments and current grades on there. Am I a bad parent?
You don't. You mean you
Well, I'm
don't
saying
check your
suppose
kids'
I don't.
grades every day?
Other people, I've heard of other people not doing that.
Honestly, you're okay. In fact,
I love your opinions.
Yeah, well, that's my
today.
opinion because it's like looking, if you like having an investment and staring at it every day.
That seems stressful.
That seems a little stressful, and particularly if, let's say, it's somebody else's investment and I'm staring at it every day.
What, you mean I'm not supposed to check the ticker to see how other people's investments are doing constantly?
Well, you can, and I don't know anything about investing, so maybe that's a good thing. But our kids, last time I checked, whose homework is it?
It's theirs.
It's theirs, and I think from time to time we can check reasonably so. But I think the main thing is the kids checking.
So the constant micromanaging of their investment is probably not going to
Right,
help.
and I have to say the people that I've known over the years that have raised the kids with the highest GPAs and most success have probably been the people that have probably checked those things the least.
Wow, because the kid's really worried about it. So
Yeah,
they don't have to be.
exactly. So that's just my opinion, but it could get you in trouble on Facebook. Okay.
Well, I don't want that. I don't
No,
want to ever be
whatever it
judged
takes.
poorly on social
Whatever
media.
it takes. You don't want to lose friends.
No, I don't want to lose friends. I don't want to lose status or numbers of likes or anything like that.
Yeah, because that's what life is about, man. When I'm looking back on like, how many tweets did I get?
I'm so
Positive.
glad. I'm so glad
Yeah.
you mentioned that one because that's another one that's coming up. Is am I a bad parent if I, in public, have to discipline my kids or have to sort of stop them or do something they don't like and they throw a fit? It's really, you're going to see how this meshes. It's all going to come together like this. You're going to see how this meshes with the social media pressure. I go into this store.
Yeah.
And I have to maybe do a little portable bedroom time, portable song.
Oh, yeah.
My kid throws a fit, or my kid's not getting their way in the store and they're throwing a fit, and everyone's looking at me. And what's going on
Or
there?
your teenager asks for something or demands something, and you don't give it to them, even though they say if they don't get it, they're going to
Die?
Yeah, exactly.
Which I'm not sure that's true.
I don't think it's true. Okay, so are you a bad parent if you upset your kids in public?
Yeah, you set a limit that upsets them.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you're a good parent. You know why you're a good parent? And I want to say, everybody, come in close. That's what I say. I don't really know what that means. I think it's kind of like this is important.
Yeah.
I think you provide a very important service for other parents when your kids act up in public because it helps other parents feel better about themselves.
That's right.
I'm all about building other people's self-concept, and that's why a lot of times I will wear my shirt inside out. I do all this stuff on purpose to help other people feel better about themselves.
It's a servant's heart.
I'm aging to help other people feel younger. That's what I
Yes.
do.
Oh,
it's
that's
what I do.
very
And so,
unselfish of you.
there might be a little something about too that it's good for your kids to know that you're going to hold them accountable no matter what, and that they're more important than, like, your long-term relationship with them is more important than your long-term relationship with somebody in Ace Hardware, or even the Ace Hardware person.
I heard that
helpful hardware
the
person.
helpful hardware person.
Yes.
I heard Jim Fay once. He reminded me. He said, "Remember, you didn't even go into that store to impress everybody in there and build lasting relationships with them."
I used to go places to impress people, but then I had kids. And
You got to give that up. at
yeah,
that
you
point.
got to give that up.
So let's say
All
you
right.
got a teenage daughter, and she wants to buy this like skirt, right?
Okay.
And it's made from like the material that like a Jeep window is made out of, like that kind of
my.
see-through. And so you say no, and she,
I'm stuck on the transparent thing. Sorry,
Yeah,
help me with this.
So you
okay.
say no to this,
Okay.
because that's not okay.
No to clear clothing.
Yeah, say no.
Just
to
say
clear
no.
clothing.
Okay.
And so yeah, she huffs and puffs in the store and maybe makes a scene. And one of my thoughts is, what's everybody else thinking about? And I think I heard you once say they're probably thinking about themselves, or they're thinking,
oh, thank goodness that isn't my kid.
yeah. So you're helping them out. You're helping their self-esteem out.
Ooh, I have a 5-year-old daughter, and that'll be me before long. Could be. Yeah.
So you really are providing a service to other parents.
Yeah. It's all about helping other people.
So am I a bad parent if I don't micromanage my kids' grades and assignments? Your answer is no. Your opinion is no.
It's strictly opinion. It's not a substitute for professional help, and the opinions of this station are not.
Don't represent
Right.
YouTube or anyone else. So am I a bad parent if I set some limits or do things that upset my kids, and other people like see that, they witness an upset kid at my hands? I've
Yeah.
upset that kid.
Yeah.
I don't need to feel bad about that.
Are you a bad parent if you keep your kid, an older kid, and I'm talking after like second grade, in a class with a teacher who is maybe a little stern and unforgiving?
Like doesn't come across real nice.
Not real warm and fuzzy. Are you a bad parent? What's your opinion? I mean, you've been asking me.
So
I've been on the
I don't
spot.
move my kid to the nice teachers class.
Right.
Am I a bad parent? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to kind of keep this trend going, and I'm going to say no. No, I'm not. For 2 reasons.
Okay.
Number one, I think it's possible my kid's going to have to deal with some not nice people at some point in
Yeah,
life.
could be.
And number two, I'm thinking about the message that I send to my kid that says, you're strong, or maybe even, aren't you lucky that you get to practice dealing with people who maybe are a little difficult to deal with?
Yeah, it's good practice for marriage. It's good practice for going down to the DMV or working with the IRS or state
airport, anywhere there's people, really.
Yeah, really, it's good practice. Yeah.
Wow.
But how about if you have a real little kid and their teacher's kind of nuts? I mean, that happens sometimes. And
Like downright harmful.
harmful, yeah, because we don't want them to start thinking, yeah, school is a bummer. And
Well, Love and Logic's not this extreme all or nothing thing
it
where we
isn't.
would say keep the kid in there even if it's downright harmful to them.
no, and most teachers, I mean, they're great. Most teachers are great, but once in a while you get one that is a little bit kindness impaired or whatever, and early ages they need to start off with a good experience.
Right, yeah. So if
Yeah,
it was
man.
a kindergarten teacher who seemed to really hate kids, yeah, I might move
Yeah.
my kid out of that.
Yeah.
So we want to keep some flexibility for judgment and common sense there.
Okay. So, what are some of the other, am I a bad parent if?
This is a big one. My kid is on a soccer team. And
I don't think that's wrong. There's anything wrong with that, Jed.
Okay, thank you. Wow, you're really non-judgmental today.
Yeah.
I'm glad I caught you on a good day. My kid is doing something related to this. Maybe it's poor sportsmanship, or they're not taking care of their responsibilities related to soccer, or they're talking back to the officials, or something related to this great thing that they get to do. And I make the decision to say, this game coming up this Saturday, we're not going. Or maybe I talk to the coach and say, she's going to be riding the bench.
Oh.
I know probably more parents who would feel this tugging on their hearts that I'm a terrible human being
Yeah.
for that than even some of the other stuff we've talked about.
Yeah.
Am I a bad parent if I hold my kid out of a sport or a game?
I think you're a good parent if you do that. But I think it's a good idea to talk to the coach.
Don't just do it without notifying the coach.
Yeah,
because there's a rest of the team that
right,
might be affected.
right. But what happens if the rest of the team can't play? Because that's the problem. You get on a team and there's only enough kids to play. I mean, if you lose one, the other kids suffer. Let me throw that monkey wrench into the soup.
That happened, I think, way back in Indiana.
Put that in your
movie,
pipe and smoke
the movie Hoosiers.
yeah.
But I don't think it's happened since. I think.
Well, it happened just last year with my son.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's
Mr.
happened
Smarty
twice.
Pants.
Okay.
Yeah, and
That's a tough one. Then. Yeah, do
it was
talk
a really
about
tough
that.
one, and he played, but we had some other consequences. Major energy drain. Major. Yeah, I had to do a lot of chores.
He had to make some stuff up and do
Yeah.
some restitution.
'Cause-
So you made the decision not to let the rest of the team down.
I just
in
felt
this-
bad for
in
the
this
kids. man.
very special instance. Like it would
Yeah.
have really harmed.
It would
everyone
have,
else.
like we're talking about, how many are on a baseball team? Like 11. It would have bothered, not.
It's 9, right?
Oh,
Well,
okay.
unless like the teams I was on, they let us have a couple extra in the outfield, and it still didn't help.
Okay. So anyway,
Rover.
yeah. No, I mean but society, the world makes us feel bad.
Makes us feel terrible.
I think more times than not, it's us making us feel bad.
Yeah, maybe guilt shouldn't be driving my parenting. Maybe that's what you're saying.
Right.
I want to go back really quick to that. So you used some judgment and common sense. When your normal decision or propensity would have been, he's blown this, we're going to hold him out.
Yeah.
You talk to the coach, and it turns out, man, we literally can't play without him. It's going to hurt these 8 other kids or so. Okay, well, we'll make an adjustment here. We'll still provide a consequence. We'll still hold them accountable, but we won't, what do we call that? Pigeonhole? Paint ourselves into a corner? Sure, there's another outdated term for this. We won't do this so that blindly our consequence causes more problems than it solves.
Yeah. I mean, it was a judgment call, but it seemed to work out okay.
Thanks for being patient with me to get there, because I was having a hard time arriving at that, but
It was.
that makes sense.
It was, but every hard drive sometimes hits that, like
Especially when it's due for an
spinner
upgrade.
thing.
Like
Yeah.
I'm way overdue for.
Yeah,
for
what are you like?
2.0?
I'm Apple 2E.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I don't even know. I'm the generic brand. I remember that. A lot of our viewers and listeners right now have no idea, and they're concerned.
They are, but if you're our age or older, you remember that.
That sound. Yeah, not a good
Okay,
sound.
well, it was thinking, and it had to hum to itself in order to think. So what about, I'm thinking, are you a bad parent if you don't get your kid out of jail? Like they're an adult kid.
Yeah,
And
they're 20 and they call and say, "Mom, you need to come down here and bail me out."
Yeah, you got to bail me out. What do you think?
I'm going to cheat on this one because I remember a great Love and Logic story. One of the first stories that drew me to Love and Logic, where a parent decided, and they made the very probably heart-wrenching decision not to hustle right down and get their kid out. And I think multiple kids had all gotten in trouble, and all the other parents came down and got their kids out right away. This parent, was empathetic and offered some ideas in terms of how to contact a lawyer or bail bondsman or whatever. And if I remember the story correctly, initially that young person really resented and was mad at the parent, and the parent's heart probably was breaking. But in the long run, it turned out to be the right call.
Right. Are you a bad parent? Now this makes everything else pale. Okay, so grab onto your chair. I mean, literally,
Okay,
grab
yeah,
onto
I'm
your chair.
grabbing onto my chair.
And are you a bad parent if you listen to talk radio in the car when your teenager's in there and you tell them that you want to listen to your stuff rather than their stuff?
Wait, you don't let them decide what bad pop music is playing?
Or yeah.
Not that any kids like pop music, and not that any of it's bad. I'm not implying either of those things.
No.
As far as we know.
But
Wow, are you a bad parent if you insist on controlling the environment of your automobile that you worked hard to pay for?
yeah, and you don't, and your kid's like, oh, I don't listen to this.
This is boring.
Yeah, are you a bad parent if you do that?
Only if they accidentally learn something while you're driving.
Oh, okay. I don't even understand.
Or what if you
that.
make them talk to you instead of being on devices in the car?
Yeah. Are you a bad parent if you lose your temper with your kids sometimes?
I think it means you're human.
Yeah. And
You could even say, "Hey, good news. You know, your dad's not a robot."
right. And again, you're fulfilling an important service when you're not perfect, because can you imagine the number of therapists who would be, on the streets if we weren't, messing kids up a little
I think if I would have had perfect parents, I might need more therapy, because I wouldn't know how to.
It would be weird,
that
wouldn't
would
it?
be weird.
Yeah.
But so good news for me, I'm doing great things for my kids, and I'm providing this service because they see me blow it all the time.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for kids to see us blow it. It's good for kids to see us do embarrassing things. Like, what's the most embarrassing thing that you've ever done in front of your kids?
Wow,
I mean,
this is
seriously.
Can we turn off the camera and the recording devices?
Well, no, because it would make a kind of a jerky transition in the
Okay.
video. So
I can think of one. I don't know if this. I'm going to think of 10 more that top this one in a minute, I'm sure. But the one that first springs to my mind is I was driving them somewhere,
yeah,
and there's an exit clearly marked that that's the exit that we need to take. And for some reason, I don't take it.
yeah,
And I say, oh, I know a better way. And we're literally, you can see the place we're going to. You can see it. And I end up driving about 6 or 7 miles out of the way, having to turn around twice, using some, we'll say salty language, like
pretzel.
yeah, crackers.
Yeah.
And we end up. It's more than 30 minutes later after we could physically see the place that we finally get there. And of course, the kids are smart enough not to say a whole lot about it. They just keep looking at each other and snickering, which was the worst part of the whole thing.
I think the most embarrassing thing was when my son Mark was about 3, and he'd had a lot of O time. It's like a little bedroom time. And Mark, I mean, what a sweet kid. He's a sweet young man, and 24 now. But I had this Chevy Celebrity. It was a great car. It had 4 doors, and it was green, and it had the lines of a box, like a shoebox. It was like a shoebox going down the road. And I had just was trying to finish up grad school, and that Chevy Celebrity was, not running real great, which is hard to believe, given the GM car of the era.
That's why they called it a Chevy Celebrity, is because it wasn't very useful.
Oh,
that's mean. That's mean. Sorry, celebrities.
Man,
Sorry.
my eyes are burning.
Ouch.
Isn't it weird? I just said that because normally it would be the ears, but so anyway, I'm doing a tune-up. I'm working on it and everything, and you got to take the car out and see if it's running good, right? Under load.
Bring a kid with you.
Yeah, and nobody's there to watch Mark at that time, so he's in the car seat back there. I'm in the Chevy Celebrity, man, and I'm giving that baby all it's got. All 4 cylinders are just roaring. I mean, it's just screaming, and it's running good, And then I heard this whining sound. I thought, well, that's a strange sound. It's like maybe I messed something up, but it was really a siren.
Oh.
I got pulled over, and I didn't have a shirt on or anything. I was all dirty and everything. My hair was all greasy on the side. And so in the back, what's he saying? Uh-oh, Daddy. Then he kept asking if I was going to go to jail.
Oh, wow.
And the state trooper, I think it was a South Carolina state trooper, the buses already had all the, the glasses, the shiny glasses, and a southern drawl and everything. And I think he felt so sorry for me that he let me off the
Wow.
But it was
That's the
a little
time Charles
embarrassing.
Fay avoided being on an episode of Cops with no shirt on.
No
Wow.
kidding. I mean, I did not have a shirt, and when I went home and looked in the mirror, I couldn't see my face. It was like blurred out. It was the weirdest thing.
Wow. That's a Cops reference for people that didn't.
Yeah,
get
a
that.
little throwing a bone to the
So
Cops
he did
episode.
He did the uh-oh song from the
Yeah,
back
and
seat
then
when
as
you were getting
soon
pulled
as
over.
his mom gets home, what do we hear? Hey, Mommy, Daddy got arrested. So
That's
anyway,
pretty embarrassing.
that
So I
is
think that
really
the point is
embarrassing.
don't drive with your kids. I think that's really
I
our
think
point
that
today.
is ultimately the best case scenario. And don't do a tune-up on your car in your driveway in Lexington, South Carolina in August.
And maybe don't buy a
it's
Chevy
sweaty.
Celebrity if you can help it.
Yeah.
So really, I think maybe give yourselves a break and don't worry so much about am I a bad mom or dad.
And if you're really, really curious and you just need an excuse to Google something, Google what was it, an 83, I think, just Google Chevy Celebrity images, and then you can see what that car looked like.
Just to witness the beauty.
It-
It might
it's-
take your breath away, the awe of the.
It was an amazing car. Yeah, yeah. It was right up there with the Bugatti.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping us feel better about ourselves.
You're
Really
welcome.
appreciate that. Thank you guys for listening and watching. And let's all give ourselves a break and maybe realize if you're trying to be a good parent and you're worried about being a good one, that's probably a pretty good sign, actually.
Yeah, and can I show everybody my duct tape wallet?
Now you're just
Now
bragging.
yeah,
I mean, the first was Chevy Celebrity,
I know,
and now
and a duct tape wallet.
for those of you that can
Yeah.
only hear this, Charles Bay literally
See,
has a wallet
I go
made of duct
in
tape.
and hotels, and they say, "Oh, Dr. Fay," and then I pull out my wallet, and then they're like, "Hey, dude, that's cool." I
That's
make
just
friends.
disarming. See, yeah, that's why you do it, is to
yeah.
let people.
When we're imperfect, as this duct tape wallet is,
Oh, it's pretty perfect.
oh, look how nasty it is. All like, oh, yeah. People feel better about themselves. That's how you make friends.
Yeah, so be imperfect.
Be
and
imperfect,
Let your
yeah.
imperfect light shine.
Yes. Yes. Oh, thank you so much.
All right, we'll see you again.
Yeah.